Hi everyone, I've decided it's about time that you saw the face behind the hands in all of my videos. Here's my shadow. She's always about. Whatever I'm doing, she's behind me. You'll not see this very often because I don't like being in front of the camera. You don't want to see this ugly mug all the time anyway, so just a bit about myself. I'm married, in my 40s presently. I have two sons, one of them is 23 and the other one is 6. I'm very lucky that I have a very understanding husband, and he lets me have all these bugs and reptiles and things that he doesn't like. Doesn't mind the snakes, but the spiders he doesn't like at all, and particularly things that fly, which includes the stick insects that can fly. So I'm going to show you my spider room. I've cleaned it up specially. I've even hoovered the floor. Bronte, just settle please, settle. Yeah, I'm not going to show you everything because some of the spiders, even I rarely see them. And like the sun tigers, it's rare that they come out. I've actually got 4 of them. I did have 5, but I fed them the other day. They're all in tall sweetie jars. And it was actually outside its web, but I fed it anyway, and then I didn't want to put my hand right in to get the cricket back out. So I left the cricket in, and I think the cricket's done the damage, so I've just got the 4 now. The odd sling or two, they're either too small or they're hidden. I'll try and show you what I can. And I've videoed some footage of what I do, sometimes daily, sometimes only every other day. Some things I do once a month. Just show you what my day entails. I normally am in the spider room all day. I'm nearly all day. I think my husband feels lonely sometimes. But live creatures need looking after, don't they? So it can't be helped. Right, so into the spider room. I'll give you a quick little look. Before that, I'd just like to say thank you to all my subscribers. All of you that have subscribed up to now know that Heidi Stanley of Heidi Stanley Spiders is my sister. But if you're a new subscriber, you're new to looking at my channel, pop over to her channel as well. She's got some really good videos. And thank you to all my future subscribers as well. I will mainly be doing inverts and reptiles, things like that. There will be the odd craft project thrown in there, but it'll all just be invert and reptile themed. Okay. Right, so in we go into the bug room, or the room of doom as my husband calls it. Right, it's only a small room. It's only about 8 by 8. Right, just through the door we have all my drawers full of things that I need. All the lizard things, little sling pots in there, spare bulbs, stuff like that. Medication, scissors, you name it. Water bottles, I use up 2 a day, sometimes more. Smoke alarm that should be on the ceiling. Some ornamental things, the leopard geckos, the bulb pot yesterday, so they just got a temporary one in, which doesn't give off much heat actually. They need new perspex because when I was cutting it, the jigsaw gave a little kick back and it split all the way across. There's nothing on the second shelf because I'm just waiting for some runners, and the iguana's going to move into that. I may end up The next section is split. I may end up, if she gets really big, take that shelf out so she's got 2 parts. But I'd like her to have more depth, to be honest, so she may just go in this temporarily. She's just over there. It's just a roach colony. It's only small at the minute. Mealworms. Oh, this tea here, it's a Bomite. I need one of those rubber wedge things. I've just put sellotape on. Somebody gave me her, and she did warn me that she can get the door open, and she's really clever. She knows that as soon as this sellotape isn't on, she's out. African land snails up there, snakes, so the royal, and corns, cricket colony, spare tubs and that. Unfortunately, my bug room has to double up as my craft room as well, so there's some craft stuff in here. All my sewing machines, my embroidery machine and things. More land snails, stick insects. I want a rack here, one of those metal racks that a lot of you have, because it did have a table with my toques on top, but with getting the iguana I've had to have a change around, so the toques are now on the floor, which they don't like. I've took a lot of decoration out of their enclosure so I can keep a better eye on them. Formicarium, which is still empty at the minute. A couple of male teas under there. Phanopelma chalcodes. Is that blonde? Chilean Rose in the corner. She's always at the back. Oh, in those jars, by the way, is my little boy's experiment. He got one of those fungus lab kits for Christmas. It was rubbish, actually. The gelatin wouldn't dissolve, and all the fungus is the same like you'd get on some old fruit, so I think it's not really worked, because you should get different funguses. Anyway, he did the toilet, did my foot, and he did the dog's teeth. I thought I'll be horrified if my foot comes out the worst, but they've all turned out the same. I'm going to chuck those, actually. More stick insects, tub with nothing in but more tubs. Curly hair at the bottom, she's always in the log. Oh, I've not set this up yet, the humidifier I showed on the white tongue ornaments thing, but the toques are going to have that when I've fixed a pipe in. Oh, it doubles up as my music room too. There's a keyboard back there somewhere, and a clarinet down there, a flute somewhere. I bet you're thinking, go on, give us a go on the didgeridoo. Quick little go. I can do the noise proper, but I can't circularly breathe properly yet. It doesn't sound good when I change from one type of breathing to the other. So just a quick little go then. I've not got the hang of making circular breathing sound good, so I'll probably not do that. It's how you keep it going. You have to breathe out but breathe in at the same time, and it's a trick really. You don't actually do that. Oh, here goes. I'll probably look stupid because you have to raspberry like this. Run out of breath too easily, and you're supposed to do the other thing. See what I mean? That is the circular breathing. You're supposed to fill your cheeks and squeeze and breathe in at the same time while you're squeezing out the air that's held in your cheeks. Yeah, so lots of practice needed. Anyway, back to the spider room. After that journey into the best forgotten. The salmon pink is down there. There's an empty Exoterra down there that has that dragon's head that I made in it. Cantuta. And the death's heads. The emergence cage for the every silk moths is in there. And we have some that have emerged again this morning. The flight cage is up there. I know it doesn't look very nice, but as long as the humidity is kept up a little bit. More stick insects, locusts. Now I've bred these before, I've started again. They were originally in the wardrobe, but I ended up feeding all the baby ones off to the leopard geckos, so I've started again with that. Tubs, stick insect nymphs and praying mantises up there. More decoration. This is the cupboard of joy. I'll show you in a second. Oh, there's my other decorative items up there. Oh, my mushroom, it needs putting back. I'm gonna rehouse Trinidad Chevron into there, and he's gonna have the mushroom. Oh, there's all my sewing clutter, all my sewing machines and stuff like that. Right, into the cupboard. Now, this is why it takes me a long time to see to everybody, because they're all stacked up on top of each other. I can get far back enough to show you. We've got the beetles down there, some teas, some leaf insects and stick insects that I keep a little bit warmer. Sorry if the vision's all fuzzy, I don't know why it's gone like that. I think it's maybe the lighting. It's full of slings and stick insect eggs, fruit fly culture. Oh, hang on, there's somebody at the door. Hang on. I'm back. Scorpions. The scorpions are among the slings over there, and Uthica, the beetle larvae at the back, and the waxworm culture at the back. Assassin bugs, I've put this over in case they have lay eggs and the nymphs will fit through there, so I've put that over so there's no escapes. Another tea in there. But as you can see, I mean, every other day everybody comes out. Most of my time is taken just giving them water, because it is really warm in my spider room. It's generally about 23-24 degrees. In the wardrobe it ranges from 26-27 normally. Now for my heating, I don't have heat mats. I rely on kerosene heat cables that come with a thermostat on. That's an older dial type, and it's just 30 up, down, up, down, up, down. More of the cable is at this end, and then it reduces a little bit by the time it gets to that end, where the gaps are wider in between each parallel line. And same over there, as you saw. Now, sorry, shut that. For the leopard geckos one, I used a painting canvas. Obviously, it's got a wooden frame, and did the same with the cable. Just up, down, up, down, up, down, and then I put material on it so they can't burn themselves. There's a little bit at the bottom where, you know, it's come from one end to the other, but it's quite a gentle heat really. And that one's on a digital thermostat, and the cables are 24 foot long, I think they were. So I've done each one. This one's just left loose, I've not done that yet. And same up there, but then I add excess, so it comes out, comes behind the toe case, and well, you get the gist, the rest of it. Right, so that's the spider room in general. It's not usually as tidy as this actually. It's usually, there's bits of twigs and leaves on the floor and what have you. This chair I used to stand on all the time. My husband keeps telling me off for it, because we have got a proper set of step ladders, and one of the legs is becoming really wonky. Yeah, so that's kind of my step stool. It's always in the way though. So there it is. Just like to say about the wardrobe, some people might worry about airflow, but I don't shut it completely, and I've never had any problems over the couple of years that I've kept them all like that, so don't be worrying. I hope you've enjoyed looking around my bug room. Here's some footage that I've already taken on camera and phone from the previous couple of days. Right, I know a lot of you are mainly into tarantulas, and you're in the tarantula community thing on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook myself. I used to have it, but you can't unsee what you've seen basically in the news feed, so I got rid of it. And Instagram, I won't have that either. So I'm going to show the tarantulas first, and then I'll show the stick insect collection, and then the reptiles. I'm not going to show all of them because some of them have been covered in other videos, such as the praying mantises, the scorpions in the breeding thing I did, the millipedes, the assassin bugs. I'm mainly into tarantulas myself. I currently have 49 in my collection, from big ones down to little tiny slings. I'm waiting for the good weather to order some more from Spiders World EU. Sorry, the camera's going again. It's like on a suction cup thing and it just keeps coming off. Right, yeah, so I've kept tarantulas for 28 years altogether. I've also kept reptiles for 28 years, but I've had spells where I've not had reptiles. But tarantulas have been a mainstay through all that time. My first one I got when I was 17, saw it in a shop, bought it without asking Mum and took it home, but they were used to me bringing creatures home. So I think she minded, but I was loved. She'll let me keep it. Not that you should do that, children, always ask your parents. Yeah, so I just used to have a general interest, a general like of them, and then very shortly after that I bought this book, and this is what set me off being really interested. And you know, I'm not very clever and I don't know much about a lot of things, but tarantulas, I'd say I'm clued up about them. I know them inside and out. Not that I wouldn't ever consider myself an expert. There's always new things to learn, and there's always somebody knows more than you. So don't think I'm like that, like I know it all, because I'm definitely not. Yeah, so I mean, you know, it just like shows the insides of them, close-up microscopic pictures. This book, I mean, it just made me like really interested. I realised how strange they are, and I like strange things. So, yeah, so I hope you like the footage that I've took. There will be the moths as well. I'll put them after the stick insects, I think. Right guys, I need your help with some identification. This is one of 2 slings that escaped on the same night when I got them. They were now 0.5 centimetres and they fitted through the air holes in a cricket tub that I'd put them in. I think I labelled them wrong. One of them was a Sasmai, and one of them is a Thrixopelma lagunis, a bird eater. Now I've had this one labelled as the Thrixopelma, but it's starting to look, it's just molted. It's starting to look like the Sasmai to me. The enclosure's looking a little bit damp at the minute because I've just sprayed it, but... Right, so that one. Have a good look. I'll show you the next one in a second. It has got a bluish tinge to its legs under some certain lights. Here's the other sling that escaped. It's extremely skitty, whereas the other one isn't. So I told you, she's really skitty. So, Sasmai or Thrixopelma, please let me know. So I told you, she's out. Right. Well, she's back in, but I had to slam the lid on quick. I've had to actually leave the catch cup in there. I like her character though. She's nice and feisty. The Salmopius reduncus has molted, and I thought it might molt out that he had a mangled molt last time. Now what's actually happened is he's lost the first 2 legs and the pedipalps. Now he was feeding well in his condition before, with his legs all mangled up in the air, so let's see if he might not take anything yet. He might have only just molted, you see, so let's see if he will. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so hopefully next time he molts he'll have some semblance of legs and pedipalps back. But, I mean, as you can see, he feeds no problems with no arms and no front legs.
Ooh, oh, scared me.
It scared me. snatched it.
tempter.
Actually, snatched it off the fangs.
That scared me out. It's all fluffy at the back. You just want to stroke it, but.
I need to go and mix some flightless fruit fly mixture and make my own. I've had cultures before, but I let the last lot die out because it was getting full of mites, you know, grain mites. And at the time I didn't have praying mantis nymphs to feed, which is what I mainly use them for. But I'm having to prepare for this Utica for when the nymphs hatch out in a few weeks. It's the giant African mantis, Spodromantis viridis. I bought this on eBay. Hopefully they'll hatch out, and apparently between 1 and 300 nymphs could come out of there. Right, so I'm going to go and mix some of this. Now these, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but they are Eurycantha calcerata, the New Guinea spiny stick insect. They're a large-bodied stick insect. These are grown on nymphs, they're getting quite big now. There's quite a few down the bottom. They like to hide under bark. Sorry, he was getting a bit upset with me there. They like to hide under bark normally, but I find that I've got this on the underside of the lid because this container, I hate it. Who was it the other day? I was watching somebody, I think it was, might have been Bug Realms, was showing an enclosure that he doesn't like. Sorry Bug Realms if it wasn't you, but it was one of these because I have one too. I have this one and I have this one, and it's those enclosures that you just love to hate, and I really do hate them. They're just awful. And anyway, I put the material on the underside of the lid because it was for a fish tank really, and it's got pipeline holes, big vents on it. Yeah, it's just a horrible shape. It's got horrible little feet to it. You know, it's like it's bowed in at the front. It just doesn't look nice on the shelf. But I didn't have anything else at the time. They've been in it since they were really small nymphs, so that's why I put this on so they couldn't escape through the holes. Yeah, so they eat bramble. Apparently they can they do something with the back legs that can give a nip, apparently. This stick insect is Sipyloidea sipulus, the pink-winged stick insect. That's an adult one. And there's a newly hatched nymph. They eat bramble. They tend to stick the eggs on leaves or on the side of the container. They spend a lot of the time on the ceiling of the enclosure, just hanging from the underside all day, and then they start moving about at night. Just see if I can get a wing shot of them, just to show you why they have the name. Oh. They can fly. There you go, there's the wing fully out. In this enclosure I have two different kinds. I have the giant budwings. I can't pronounce the Latin name, but Phainopharus caioanensis. And in with them, because I've still not put a divider in this enclosure, is Vietnamese prickly stick insects, Neo-Hirasi myrans. There's actually a pair mate in there. And another pair just there. They both eat bramble as well. The eggs are very different from each other, so it doesn't matter if they're together. I can tell the eggs apart. In this one we have the Periphasma schulte, the black beauty stick insect. They eat privet. And they have lovely little red wings, but they're not able to fly. In this one I have the Thai stick insect, Ramulus artemis. They eat bramble. They seem to lose their legs very easily for some reason. They're like the Indian stick insect, the common Indian stick insect, but much larger. You can see. And the eggs are like a long tan coloured thing, rather than a round or oval egg like a lot of the others. Here we have Loncodiodes sp. ilcos, the red stick insect. It's only the male that turns red when they turn adult. I'll just get one out for you. This is another species that likes to throw itself about. The females stay green, but are still like really a lovely bright green. There you go. There's male red, female green. And these eat bramble as well. One of my favourite stick insects, the Macleay spectra, Extatosoma tiaratum. These ones are not quite adult, and I do have some smaller nymphs. There's one shedding down there. Don't know if you can see it. The males can fly, and the females are more heavy bodied. And they eat bramble, like most things. It's a bit of a pain keep collecting enough for them all, but I do enjoy keeping them. I think I've got two females here actually. You may see these for sale advertised as the lichen form, which show green and black mottled colouring, or black and white mottled colouring. Some of them I believe are just trying to cash in on the colour forms, but some will turn out to be that colour, but you have to raise them from a hatchling from the egg on a similar coloured background to what you want, apparently. I keep meaning to have a go of it myself, see if it matters at all, but I haven't as yet. They're a heavy, very heavy bodied stick insect, so not suitable for flimsy mesh enclosures really. And sometimes the legs, they are very prickly. It doesn't like hurt, but I think for children sometimes it can make children a bit you know, a bit scared of them really, because they might think they're nipping or something, and it's just the spikes. Here we have the Sabbath Thorny, Arateon asperimus. They don't grow too big, and they're not too spiky, they don't hurt at all. They also eat bramble. Nuitra, that's how I pronounce it anyway, I'm not sure if that's right. These are just nymphs at the minute. They also eat bramble. I always start all my nymphs in these sweet jars. I normally just put kitchen towel on the bottom. This one actually needs cleaning out. Put kitchen towel on the bottom, but sometimes I do put coconut fibre in. I have to spray them at least once a day. This is a nymph of Loncodiodes sp nigros, which is the Negros Island stick insect. It's quite nice really, it's got a slight red tinge to its legs. A bramble eater again. This is a nymph of Bacillus roseus, the Mediterranean stick insect. I haven't any adults to show you of the Negros or the roseus. By the way, that on my fingers isn't, looks like nicotine, but I don't smoke. It's off the moths from the one I helped out of a cocoon. I've not washed my hands yet. The common Indian stick insect, Carausius morosus. He's got a leg missing and a bit of a wonky body too. I know a lot of people who keep stick insects probably think, oh, they're not unusual enough and they're too common, these, but I love them. You can get overrun with them, same as a lot of the stick insects really. So sometimes if you can't sell them or give them away or whatever, you're better to freeze them. And these eat privet. Lamponius guarini, the guarini stick insect. These are getting a bit big for the sweetie jar now, so they're going to get rehoused into a net enclosure. Again, another bramble eater. I keep most of my stick insects at room temperature. There is the odd one or two, which I'll show you in a minute, that I keep at a warmer temperature of about 26 degrees. Parapachyomorpha zomproi, zomproi stick insect, also on bramble. What's that all about? Looks like some kind of threat, that. They've got these lovely markings, and they've got funny little wavy bits to the legs. Now these I keep a little bit warmer. They're at about 26 degrees. I did have them at room temperature, but they didn't seem to be growing at all. They are the Malaysian yellow flying stick insect, Necroscia annulipes. These are just the nymphs. I haven't any adults yet. As I said, they seem to be really slow growing. Now with these, apparently they lay in things like polystyrene, or if you've seen the Oasis stuff used in floristry, they'll lay in that. The eggs are a funny shape. There's one. That's not mould. I actually left some nymphs in this, so it's just poop. Could just get that, like a funny little horn shape. Yeah, so anyway, I've kept these a bit warmer because I found that they have started growing quicker now, that they're in more heat. This species, I've been having a bit of trouble with keeping the nymphs alive. They are the Malagasy blue. These are just the nymphs of them. Scientific name Acreoptera phallax. I don't know why I keep losing them. They eat bramble. At first I had them at room temperature. Some of them died, and then I read they should be kept a bit warmer, so I've put them in the warm, but I've still had them dying. If anybody keeps these and has any tips, I keep them humid. I give them the best leaves, so like really old leaves, so they're not hairy. Which I try to with all of my nymphs, but sometimes I've collected them, and when I've got home, there's a slight fuzz on the leaves, only a little bit, but I thought maybe these are more prone, because new leaves are poisonous to them if they're still fuzzy. A bit like this vision at the minute. Phasmagigas, the giant stick insect. Again, only a nymph. They grow really huge, these. I believe they go a bit of a browny colour. There's a smaller nymph there. I've only had these two hatch up to now. But the rest of the eggs still look healthy. I'm just thinking maybe they're a bit sporadic, which I'm hoping also with my green bean stick insects. I've had one hatch, and it's about the same size as this actually. Diapherodes gigantea, the green bean stick insect. Now, although at this stage it looks like the Phasmagigas, I think these stay very much a green colour. And also the Gigas eats bramble, these eat eucalyptus, which luckily I do have a eucalyptus tree in the back garden. Eucalyptus gunnae. And this is only a small nymph still really, because I think they grow a lot bigger than this. He does like dancing, this one. Pretending he's a branch, wafting in the wind. Getting all in because those ones head upwards and kind of get them back in the tub. I'm going to put my nesting surface in and make it so that they can head upwards so hearts can climb up this. It's like they've got an aversion to leaves. It's just rather be on their hands, climbing up the wall. I do love them. Really am after giganteum. Christmas and some eggs for a week. I'm going to go back and sneak it this week. And it's sneaking up again. I'm just finding it. There's a plate. And then it's a big one, isn't it? And you'd like to dance about as well. When you're wafting in the wind. The giganteum is a lot bigger than these little ones. These are quite funny looking. See what I mean? All out the tub, all wanting to climb up. I'll show you the eggs in a minute. 10 minutes later, I'm still here. They just won't let go of my hand. I'm going to have to get a branch and make them go on it. Apparently in the wild, the purpose of them is to catch on animal fur and things like that. That's how they'll get distributed. Sometimes put different kinds of stick insects in together with each other if they're very different from each other. I can tell what they are. So as these are in with the Sungaea inexpectata eggs. I don't know if any of these will hatch yet anymore because the rest of them have hatched quite a while ago. Some that I'm still waiting on, Ramulus anceps, which was advertised as rainbow stick insects to me, but I think there's another name that they come under as well, which are these ones. Typical of the Ramulus species. They're like a long-ish shape. Jungle nymphs. I've had to throw a couple of these eggs away because they just seem to go a bit funny. As well, I'm waiting for, how do I pronounce it now? Spinohirasi bengalensis. I don't hold out much hope for these. Although I've kept them the same as the rest of the eggs, they're just moulding up really quickly. I keep having to wipe them all the time. To be honest, see, there's mould on that one. When I received them, they felt too lightweight to me, so I don't know if they're actually viable. Let's take that one out. They are from a reputable person, and I've had quite a few. Well, quite a lot of eggs actually, of the same person, and all his eggs have hatched, but these ones, no. Now, I don't put them directly on wet tissue paper. I put wet tissue paper in, but then I put them in a separate container within that. So the air will be humid, but not, the eggs won't be wet. And I look after them all the same. And I keep them all about at 25 degrees. Some of them, like Indian stick insects, I will just keep a bit cooler. Sorry about the fuzz. These jungle nymphs I've been keeping warmer to speed them up more than anything. I'm so impatient now. They still look healthy though, so hopefully they'll hatch. You have to be patient with stick insect eggs and leaf insects. I mean, some of them, like the Indians, will hatch within a month or two, and then you've got others that will take like 9 months or whatever. So that's all of them, I think. I don't think I've left anybody out. There are more species that I want on my wish list, but as well as spiders that I want as well. I'll have to go through the spiders with you one day, because I do mainly keep tarantulas and have kept them for well, I got my first one when I was 17, and I'm in my 40s now, so a long time. Yeah, I know most of you are tarantula keepers, so I will get round to showing you them. It's just that they're all stacked up. I've got a lot of slings, they're all stacked up, and it just takes time. I just thought I'll show you the stick insects today because I was being watched by Cantuta. Just thought I'll show you the stick insects while I was renewing all the leaves and things. I've put aspen bedding in there, but I put a piece of green felt down so she wouldn't get it in her food, but she's obviously mixed it all up. But she's due to go in a bigger vivarium very soon, so I'll get her some different bedding. I'm going to get her alfalfa pellets, I think, that you use for rabbits, so that if she does eat any of it, it doesn't matter, it's only like grass. I know they do grass pellets, but specifically for reptiles, but you can bet you're paying more. I don't know, I've not really looked into it. I just know that that's what I'm going to get, some substrate that she can actually eat as well. You listening? I've not had her for long, but I love her to bits. You can see with iguanas, they kind of snort out salt. It's all over the glass. They snort out salt from the nostrils. I can't remember why that is, actually, why they do that, but... yeah, so I'm going to have to sort out that dish, I think. Give her some fresh food that's not got... Oh, it's not too bad. It's not got too many bits of aspen bedding in it. I collect my stick insect eggs weekly out of the enclosures and just label them so I know approximately when they were laid and when they'll hatch and what have you. Here I have the Thai stick insect, Ramulus artemis. There's a lot of them in there. Common Indian stick insect and the Vietnamese prickly stick insects. I try and not have any poo stuck to them as much as possible. With these it's quite difficult because I have to pick them up by my fingernail, but the poo moulds really quickly, and then of course it'll spread to your eggs quickly too. A quick hello to the snails. These are giant African land snails. These are the normal colour ones. They need a good clean out and a fresh cuttlefish. They've mucked it all. And there's quite a lot of grain mites in there just because of the food. I do give them a bath when I clean them out. I just put them in some warm water. Just make sure there's try and get rid of as much of the mites as I can. So they're the normal ones. And these are my Jadatsi ones. What are mealworm beetles doing in there? These are quite a lot bigger than the normal ones. I've had these quite a while. The downside to keeping snails is all the fruit flies off the food. They are cute though, don't you think? Just give them a wide variety of veg and cuttlefish. Keep the substrate quite deep so they can bury into it if they want. Give them well, they did have half a coconut to hide under, but these ones are a bit big for hiding under a coconut. There is indeed a mating going on. You can see how the abdomens are touching together at the bottom. My word, he's keen on. I've only just got him out of the emergence cage. Literally just this second put him in. So that's 2 breedings going on. Right, look at this lot. They've not even waited to go into the flight cage. They've just emerged and got straight to it. There's 2 pairs mating there. I wish the atlas moths had been so easy, and the Siraka silk moths. These are so keen on. This is why I wanted to try this species, because people say they really are easy, and they are. Just as easy as the death's heads I found. So that's 2, 3, 4, 6 purrs. I did have one of them. He's all crumpled. His top wings were stuck in the cocoon. He's a male, and I've put him next to that female, thinking he might be still interested despite his condition, but I don't know if he's just not ready. Or if he's just thinking, oh, I can't. I mean, they're still pretty damp, those wings, but I don't think they're going to straighten out now. It happens sometimes. Even the little crumpled one in the end has found a mate. So that's good. Right. I'm having to help this little guy. He's been stuck like this all day. I don't think there's much hope for him, really, but I'm hoping that the moisture has been trapped inside the cocoon and that his wings will dry out enough. I'm just trying to cut it really carefully. You probably can't see what I'm doing. Oh, it's so tough, this stuff. Right, I doubt he's in that bit at the end, so I'm just going to completely cut the end off. I'm just going to try and tear it. Oh, wow, so tough this. Would help if I had sharp scissors actually. Don't worry about the gunk, that's just what he would have secreted. So you don't want to remove it from this end because obviously his wings are delicate. Oh. It's all happening today. There's just so many layers of it to get through. See, I thought I'd just disturbed him. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. I thought I'd just disturbed him this morning and that he was on his way out, taking his time, but getting there. That's 2 layers. Sorry if I keep going off camera, I'm just looking what I'm doing with him really. wonder if he'll haul himself out of this bit now. Can you see me? He's trying to help himself, but it's this last bit that's the toughest. Just make sure I don't grab his wings. I think I'm squashing him a little bit, you know, with pulling. So careful. Right, hopefully I've not got anything trapped in the scissors there other than the silk. Right. So annoying, this phone. Oh, focus. Right, well, I think it might be better to put her out of her misery, to be honest. Don't know what do I do, put her in the freezer. It's a shame. Right, I've opened the flight cage this morning to put some more emerged ones in, and I found that there's loads of eggs everywhere. I've collected some. I'm just going to put them in a tub like this with no air holes, just the same as I do with the death's heads, and just breathe on the inside of the lid before putting the lid back on. That's enough humidity for them. So yeah, well pleased. So that's super quick mating and super quick egg laying as well, because the first mating was only the day before yesterday. Now a lot of them are still tied together mating, so the eggs that I'm collecting are just from see how many are females, just from 2 or 3 females by the look of it at the minute. I think the 4 that have emerged this morning are all females as well. Now whether the males can last long enough or uncouple themselves, so hopefully the males that are still coupled up will mate with the 4. They've still got enough oomph in them. Right, so I'm going to collect the rest of the eggs. They've just clumped them on the side. I'm just trying to carefully pick them off. There's a load down there. They didn't use my blind. To be honest, I thought I bet they just lay them on the sides. It's good that the clumped. There is the odd 1 or 2 just singly on their own, but like the death's heads, you find them just singly on leaves most of the time everywhere. The females will die now, the ones that have laid the eggs. They've done what they were meant to do, and that's it. Well, it's a short life, but it's worth raising them. It's so enjoyable. Right, so I've collected the eggs from today. I don't know how many there are, but I would estimate maybe about 300. There's 30 just in that group there. So let's see if they hatch. I've got the death's head ones to collect too. There's actually one stuck to the back of that one there. These are a bit more awkward to collect. Sometimes they're hard to find. This is just buddleia. I take off the flower heads because they like to lay their eggs in that, and it's hard to get them off. They start off slowly, and then the number of eggs seems to increase from each female as the days go on until she's laid them all. I think unfortunately there is another one stuck. I think I might have hung this one the wrong way. You're supposed to hang them by where they was originally attached to a branch. They have like a pad of silk. I could have sworn I'd got it the right way, that one, but some of them were hard to tell. I don't know, maybe someone will correct me, but they all seem to have, you know, come out at the top. I made the decision to help her out. If at all possible, I don't like interfering. I like to just let them get on with it. But I kept checking on her, she wasn't making any progress at all. It was just a little nose sticking out. The one yesterday, I did leave all day, and again that one didn't make any progress just the same, but I left it too long. I've had to put her out of her misery. This one though looks a bit more like there's a chance. I think she will be rumpled, but those wings are still damp. They could straighten out a little bit more. Look curly. And I'm just going to make it really humid just by spraying the bottom and the inside of the bin bag that I put over the top. She didn't appreciate my help, she kept squirting all over me. Luckily I don't think she got my clothes because it can stain. Well, I'm glad I interfered in the end and helped her to get out of the cocoon. I think the wings on the right hand side will remain a bit crumpled, but it's far better than she was. Oh, I'm getting annoyed. I'm trying to feed these and I've been taking them from one area, and when I've fed them I've put them in this corner, but I've got two of them flapping around making everybody else move, and now I've lost who I've fed and who I've not. Oh, and I feel ill as well. Not fun. Like big jumbo jets they are. I love keeping them, but not when I don't feel good. It's hard work. The so-called don't fly in the day, but as you can see, sometimes they do. I'm just feeling a bit frisky. I'm gonna have to wait till they've settled again. You'd think they've all been on Smarties. Oh, just settle. I want to get on with this. Oh man. I thought it might have been because I've had the emergence cage for the hairy silk moths on top and it's made it a bit darker and dusky, but I'm not settling. I put the plant back in that they lay their eggs on, thinking that'll calm them down, but it's not working. They would have to play up when I don't feel good. I've got so many to feed. Ugh. Where's that honey? I've a good mind to have a swig of it myself, if this is what it does to you. I have never had a batch behave like this before. I mean, I've fed them on dull days before, when it's really warm. Don't know, it's all of them as well. I mean, sometimes you get a couple of frisky ones, but it's my usual brand of honey. It's just cheap Asda stuff. Give the jar here. I'm going to have a swig of it. Anyway, I've fed as much as I can. Some of them I think I've attempted to feed them twice because, you know, I don't like anybody being missed out. They were only fed a couple of days ago, but I just like to keep them really well fed. Anyway, I'm giving up for today. I've had enough of them. the glove just to stop a claws getting stuck in my skin. My skin's like paper. Comes with old age. Right. So just bathe her in there for 5 minutes. And then I just put some on her tail, neat. I've shown you before on the video. Tamadine. Probably don't iodine without the harshness. I think what they mean by that is it doesn't sting. That's what vets use apparently. See? There. Wipe it on my pants. No. She wants us to get to the windowsill. See, that bit comes next. No, come on. She doesn't mind this bit really. I'm not sat where I normally sit in the spider room. But then you see that? Oh, thanks. She's just pooped down my jumper. But then I'm lucky it's gone between my legs onto the floor. Charming, that is. Oh, the things we must do. That's just downright rude. I'll have to scrub that now off the floor. Yeah, so I just work it in really good. And just for double measure, just put germaline in, just a double whammy it kind of thing really. I'll just rub that in and then we'll wipe off the excess. Alright, and then we're done, then you can go on the windowsill, eh? I don't think there's any shame in wearing gloves. It's not because I'm scared or anything like that. What's the point of getting your wrists slashed to bits? And the water monitor that I used to have big gauntlet type gloves that not quite like you'd have for handling hawks and things like that. They weren't that thick, but they're known for the very long claws. Oh, she's getting impatient now. Alright, I'm done. Right. Bit of free time on the window. So I can unclip this. That's you, that is. Look what you've done on my floor. Poop.